Hey, and welcome into the TexAgs Rewind presented by Specs in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Reese Nygren at the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Favorite part of the program today was?
Billy Liucci. His insight onto kind of a projection for next year was very nice with all the moving pieces of the transfer portal, which closes today.
Yeah, that was good. Nick, what about you?
I'm going to break my own rule. I'm going to go Ryan O'Brien, even though he didn't make the rewind. If you want to see that full interview, go to TexAgs.com. But Coach O'Brien, got to love the energy, the positivity, as you put it, David.
Positivity. Who made the rewind, though?
That would be OB, of course.
Yep.
Billy Liucci.
Yep.
And Tappin' Luke.
Tappin'
That easy.
Luke. That should be a name, Tappin' Luke.
Tappin' Luke.
Tappin' Luke. Hey, that would be a terrible nickname. Anyway, it's the rewind. Check it. Where has A&M upgraded? Well, I don't know if they've upgraded at quarterback because they got the same quarterback, but they were as good at quarterback. He needs to take a step, we know.
I expect them to be better because I think in a second year as a full-time starter, quarterbacks usually get better. That's not always the case. Look at Lenore Sellers. Wasn't as good as second year as he was. There's others examples, but I give you a lot more examples of guys that got better with more experience. And quite frankly, if they call better plays in some instances, and I'm talking about when they're in the red zone. I know like at least one of Marcel's interceptions, the one against Auburn, never should have been called.
Yeah.
So I expect Marcel to be a better player next year from that experience. So yes, I do think they'll be upgraded at quarterback.
Offensive line.
I don't think they'll be as good. I don't see how you lose Chase Basantis and Trey Zune especially, as well as Armage, and get better. I remember years ago, 10 years ago, I had an argument with somebody here that A&M's offensive line was going to be better in 2013 than it was in 2012. And I would say, without Luke Jokel and Patrick Lewis, you're going to get better? And it wasn't. But it still wasn't bad. You know, I mean, you still had good guys. So the decline the next year wasn't because of the offensive line. And so that's the key there. It's not going to be as good, I don't think, but it doesn't have to. You just don't want to have an LSU-like collapse.
Right. And it potentially could be as good, potentially, but I can't tell you that today.
I think a guy like Tyree Adams may get a lot better at A&M being coached by Adam Cushing than he was at LSU being coached by Brian Davis.
I agree. All right. Running back.
We talked about this.
This should be as good because you didn't have Le'Veon.
Right.
But you don't have the veterans either.
You only had Le'Veon for 5 games?
Yeah.
6 games? So if I said, hey, I have Le'Veon would make me better, but you got to look at the whole context. Le'Veon wasn't there all year.
Yeah, but also you don't have guys with a lot of experience.
Yeah, but you know what? To me, running back is the one area where a freshman can come in if you're asking him to carry the ball and just pick right up. I think the area that I'm going to be most concerned about is pass protection.
Yep.
Man, you might be playing one of the hottest teams in the country on the road right now. It would have been really nice to have another win in your back pocket from earlier this year.
But you can't.
Weekend.
You don't. You don't have
can't.
it, right?
So now this makes it even more important, and we know we don't have to revisit the house of horrors that is A&M basketball playing in Austin. They've won one time in my lifetime. This now becomes, for all the pageantry that is the rivalry, for all the stakes that come from 2 completely new teams, 2 coaches who have never been in it. Now it becomes a really important game for both teams that are just on the edge of the bubble. A win would do wonders for either one's resume.
Yeah, you got to give Sean Miller credit, so don't take me off the air here. He's
a good coach.
He had the guts to go, you know what, you're not playing well, sit out.
Yeah.
And that sends a message. And I'm sure Bucky's done that throughout his career at certain times.
Yeah, he did that to Fetty this year. He still hasn't recovered from that.
Yeah, and so it's just how much of a competitor you are. Are you going to do it, or are you going to start already calling schools and saying, hey, this is where I want to come next year in today's day and age? And let's not forget, though, there's a lot more video out there of A&M, too, and what they do. I mean, it's not complicated.
Right.
But I'm sure people are now, with all the way they break down film and everything, okay, coaches get into familiarity with themselves. I don't know how much they scout themselves over there, but I'm sure, hey, if this happened, this is what Bucky's going to call. And, that happens often in football and all sports. And so the more video, the more games A&M plays, it's going to be more difficult because teams are going to know how to attack us.
Yeah, that's kind of what Bucky has told me before, is that as the year goes on, styles are going to be neutralized because teams are going to figure out your plays. Teams are going to know what you want to do. And at the end of the year, it's talent that wins those games. And so you look at an A&M team that needs their style to win games. That's why stacking these wins early on in the schedule before you have to go face like Texas at home. You got to go play at Alabama, at Vanderbilt. The back half of that schedule is really nasty. And so you got to stack as many wins as you can right now.
Luke, I feel like Bucky gets it. When I mean it, this rivalry, this weekend, this matchup, not to make it bigger than it needs to be, but everything I've seen from Bucky, his time on the show, he just seems to get A&M and the importance of what this game could be.
Yeah, he knows that, you could go 2-4, you could go 2-16, and if those 2 wins are Texas, people would say it was a successful year one.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
No, but he knows how much that game means. Like this is a kid that he grew up in Alabama. There's a massive rivalry between Alabama and Auburn. Like he doesn't need to be told what.
No, but I think
rivalry
he's
means.
integrated himself into A&M's culture.
Yeah,
quickly.
he absolutely was. He has.
I need to see Morrow emerge as a like high-end SEC back. And he's not the biggest guy and all that, but I mean, neither was Travion Williams, and he led the SEC in rushing and ran for like 1750 or something, had an incredible year. So I think Morrow's got star potential, so I'd want to see that. And then defensively, my concerns would be proven depth at linebacker. Coney has to hit. He almost has to hit, right? Like that's why I was hoping they'd take 2 in case one didn't. But Coney has to hit. He has to be healthy. He can't miss every 3 out of 4 games like Scooby did. So he's got to be a hit there. And if he is, it changes things. If he is, and either McHale or Lockhart step their game up into that whole nother level of development, then I'll feel a lot better. But you have to see that. I don't have a lot of like who's generating the pass rush. I think I really feel good about Saka and Marco Jones, but I still think you remember what you lost.
Well,
and I felt so much better last year about Cassius Howell going into this because I knew what he had and what he was. But maybe Saka's proven that in the Big Ten.
You were the voice when it came to Cassius Howell, probably as early as right now last year. But most people right around now were saying, well, A&M lost 3 guys to the draft. I don't know how they're going to be able to make that up. And they did. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't just Cassius, but Cassius was obviously the catalyst. So a lot of these questions we just don't know yet.
No, you don't. And because I could say the same thing about the interior D-line. Mm-hmm. I thought Onyedem was really good last year. Regis has been really good for a couple of years. But no one knows what does Landon Rink, DJ Sanders, what do they look, Chase Sims, what do those guys look like in year 2? Are the 3, Swain, Mims, the 3 they landed in the portal, after they beat Alabama and with A&M coming up. And I watched a lot of basketball this week. It was fun. Monday and Tuesday, even on to Wednesday outside of the SEC. But Texas, I mean, they've got now he got banged up at the end of the game. It'd be interesting to see if that affects him at all. Looked like could have been like a quad or a thigh bruise or something. But the 7'2" center, who center is a loose word because he can step out too. But 7'2", you just look at him causing problems against Vandy, and you know how size starved this A&M lineup is, and it's scary. He scored, 22, 24 the other night for Texas. They've
22.
got 22, yeah. They've got a bunch of veterans. They've still got...
They have the oldest dude, Tremont Mark.
Yeah, the resident Aggie killer. I mean, he's buzzer beat A&M at 2 different schools already, and he's playing well. So they've got... And Sean Miller's a really good coach. Yeah. He always has been. It was a great hire for them, I thought. Are they unbeatable? No. Are they playing basketball at a great level for 2 games? Yes. I mean, how many times have we seen this in the SEC just this year, but any year, and in college basketball? For me to go, they're done with that team that had got off to, what was it, Reese? Was it like a 8-7-5, 9-6 start, whatever it was?
Yeah, it wasn't pretty.
What are they right now?
They are currently 11-6.
They were 9-6, 2 games ago. Have they turned the corner never to look back? I doubt it. I don't think that's the case at all. Are they playing hot basketball that should carry over to a home game against a rival? Yes. I think you're going to get a really good Texas team tomorrow evening, and I think A&M's going to have to play out of their minds to win. They played out of their minds for like 38.5 minutes in Knoxville and almost won a game that no one thought they could win.
All right, we're going to close it out with Mr. Nygren. Tell the people.
You got to like, you got to comment, you got to subscribe, and of course, you have to come back on Monday for more.
Thanks so much for watching. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll talk to you then.